another week of family life with Mama Rita. I hope you had a very restful week. I did. I can see that all my wrinkles are clearing off. My stress is over. Oh, but last week was something else. Hey! Apostle-elect and Reverend Mrs. Bene, they spoiled me. Right after the studio, I had to go to the altar. I placed my peace offering on the altar.
To cleanse your defilements.
And I cleansed myself. So today I am cleansed. But oh, people enjoyed Ask Mama Rita last week. I was forced to let them change their flight because of you. Just so that you'll be blessed. Pleasure is mine to welcome again to the studio Apostle-elect and Reverend Mrs. Charles Bene.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you so much for doing this for me. Thank you for coming again. You have no idea the questions and the comments we received last week. They said they haven't seen a couple as plain and free and fun-like, and they said you make serving God so fun. You know, sometimes people think that church people and crefe people and religious people, we are boring. Honestly, when I became born again, I thought, to marry a born again would be very, very boring. I married my husband and I realized that, oh my God, he's not the boring guy I thought he was. You know, in pulpit, he's not boring at all. You should come to my house, come to my bedroom. Hey, please. Last week, I practiced your style. Hey. When I finished, I confessed my sins.
What name did you give us? You can't release.
The day I bring my husband here, he will
release the name.
Big names, huge names. Oh my God, my darling. Marriage is fun. Marriage is supposed to be fun. Trust me, your firstborn will leave you. I told you one time here that my son has left. He's minding his business with his wife and his children. My daughter, Nadromo, has left. I'm left with two. Very soon, my house will be empty. So if I don't enjoy my marriage, and I don't enjoy my husband, and I don't create laughter and fun in my own home, trust me, my house will be like a cemetery. Build your relationship, work your relationship. This is what family life is all about. And all the people that send us testimonies, hey, the way I have changed. I even forgot to tell you,
yes, Mommy.
Pastor Chief Ape, you know when we went to Legon for the Legon program?
Yes.
And what's the name of the program?
Jesus Saves Crusade.
Jesus Saves Crusade. There's a lady that came all the way from Kumasi just to say thank you to me for family life.
Wow.
Whoa.
I was looking for you that day to introduce the lady to you.
That's interesting.
Came all the way from Kumasi, sat in state transport, heard about the program, just to come and see me and say thank you. According to her, I have changed her marriage.
Wow.
And that she was on the verge of divorcing.
Wow.
And today, I should see fun and laughter in the home. My darling, I forgot to take your number and I forgot to take your name. Please send me a message through Powerline TV. You haven't seen anything yet. More fun is coming. As you listen to us today, please, if you've never laughed with your wife, you've never laughed with your husband, please, I would miss there. These days, the way death doesn't ask permission before it comes, please laugh, enjoy, have laughter. If there's anybody you need to celebrate, celebrate now. Yeah. If you have to do something for me, please do it now. Now.
That's right.
If I hadn't visited Mrs. Collison when I came to London, I would have, I'm so happy I spent time with her. She wasn't sick. There's nothing. My darling, please celebrate somebody. Tell your husband I love you and I'm grateful you married me. Tell your wife I love you. I am grateful you married me. Thank you for all the dishes you've been doing. Today is one of my guys he's promised me that the wife does acheke. I hear the best acheke in Ghana.
Hey.
Please tell him when he goes home, he should tell his wife, thank you. Thank you. The guys who are cooking for your wives, thank you. The guys who are laying bed and laying the table for your wives, thank you.
On their behalf, you are welcome.
On their behalf, you are welcome. Please, I'm telling you, stop the quarreling, stop the arguments, stop the unnecessary fights. We lost my brother-in-law, that's my sister's husband, when he was 49. He didn't even get to 50. My darling, I'm not saying you will die or your partner will die. Nobody will die. But make hay while the sun shines. Enjoy yourself. God put you together for you to have fun. God put you together for you to laugh. God put you together for you to celebrate and to call yourself names like Mame Rabba called. Hey, I don't want to call that name. Oh. Please, not today. After going to the altar and taking a sacrifice and confessing.
Who used the name Chediampon on the show today? Those who don't understand, you can watch the past episode.
Please, if you didn't watch last week, go back and watch. We really, really had fun in the studio. I laughed. My God, I did. But because for popular request, they want Reverend Charles and Mama Rabba back, and then they want Ask Mama Rita because we have so many questions, backlog, and then questions from last week. They will answer you. I don't know when I will have them again. I don't know when they are next visiting Ghana, and then I don't know when I'm next going to the UK. We'll enjoy them whilst they are here. So I will go to my co-host.
Hey.
And then we'll start the show rolling. But
yes,
thank you
Mommy.
for coming on, and thank you for another week of family life.
Well, we have a lot of questions coming in already.
Wow.
And we'll start off with some complimentary messages. We are live on Facebook. This is Family Life Series. Apostle General Sam Kranchiankra live on Facebook. Mama Rita K Facebook on YouTube. Powerline TV, and on your favorite digital station, Powerline TV as well. Send the messages across. Use the hashtag AskMamaRita, AskMamarita, and we are going to read your messages and capture it. You can send us a WhatsApp message as well. +233 200 515253, and your message will be read out to Mommy. And Mommy, people are telling us how beautiful you are looking tonight.
Thank you.
You want to tell us where this is from?
Hey. This one is from. Where is this one
Right.
from?
So we'll check.
Oh,
we'll check.
from Renee.
Ariza
Couture. Please. You
Couture.
don't go to French school.
No, my French community has a
You
monton
need to eat couscous.
I only remember monton son matassa. Mettez c'est votre notre lait. Enfin nyashi.
Votre lait.
What is a poem?
Mais c'est on bouillon ça, French teachers. It is well.
So thank you so much, Renee. Thank you. I'm looking really, really beautiful in this dress. And I know Deacon Alice asked her to sew for me. That's why I couldn't remember.
That's great.
So Deacon Alice, thank you so much for making me look beautiful. You and your husband. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm also wearing an outfit from Miss Sechibia,
Wow.
Tema Community 4,
Wow.
0541252613. Miss Sechibia, thank you for styling our Vicar Jules. We appreciate your partnership with Family Life Series. And if you are there, you want to be a partner to this program, a partner to this life transforming sessions and episodes, please contact us and we'll have a great mutual engagement going forward. Well, Mommy, to some compliments coming in. This one says, Thank you, Mama Rita. You are really healing our homes.
Thank you.
This one says, wow, Mama Rita, you are beautiful with deep wells of wisdom.
Thank you.
God bless you for pouring your heart out to generations in a time such as this.
Amen.
We cherish you so much.
Amen.
The next complimentary message from Mame in Ejiso. I really love your program, Mama Rita, learning a lot from you as a young married woman.
Wow.
God bless you.
God bless you, Mommy.
And then the final complimentary message. Hello, please, good evening.
Good evening.
I just tuned in and I want to know the exact time for this program. You are not late. It's 7 p.m. GMT.
Wow.
And he asks, is it a weekly program or something? I don't want to miss this transforming discussion. Well, it's on your screen and on your streaming channel every Wednesday, 7 p.m. sharp. You can connect with us. And on the internet, you can go back and watch all the previous episodes that you may have missed for the past 2 years.
Hey. Oh, we are 2 years already?
Yeah, we are a year and a few months in.
Wow.
Yeah, a year and a few months in.
Wow. This is what COVID can do.
Yeah.
My darling, some of us have testimonies from COVID. Oh.
Yeah.
People are doing things, please. We are not waiting for COVID to be over.
No.
Please.
No.
Every day of your life, enjoy it. Have fun. Enjoy your marriage. Enjoy your children before they start leaving you. And then you wake up and you start opening your bedrooms and the bedrooms of your children. You open their wardrobes and it's all empty. Enjoy them. Have fun.
All right, our first question for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
Please, I'm with a man and we are preparing for marriage. But whenever I ask us to pray at dawn, he comes up with excuses. It has been happening for a long time. I have been trusting God for a change of behavior, but it seems whenever I talk to him, he would only promise to pray with me at dawn. But at dawn, when I call him several times...
calling him on phone?
On phone.
I thought they are staying together.
When I call him several times on phone, he wouldn't pick up, and in the morning he will come up with excuses. Please, what should I do? My humble request. And her emphasis is on dawn prayer.
Reverend Charles.
Thank you very much, Mama Rita.
And thank you for coming on the show again.
You're welcome.
You look sharp.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Please, I love your socks and your shirts.
Thank you, Mommy. You said something in last week's broadcast regarding your daughter's wedding. You said everything we saw was prayer. Prayer was what put it together. And I have been privy to you and Daddy, the Apostle General, your lives. I've seen how your service to God has attracted blessings. And I said that many people think this is a display of money and show, but what they don't know is that there are a lot of people who want to do so much, you know.
And people did so much.
Yes, and people did so much. And, you know, we have a similar testimony from our last born. People came to the baby naming and they were asking, wow, how much went into this? And even the dress I wore, I didn't even buy the dress I wore.
I was there. I saw the deco.
Yeah.
And everything was done by people.
Reception, the food, the decor, the clothes.
My darling, what people do not know, we have served God. We have served God. We have served people. We have paid people's school fees. We have paid people's medical bills. We have rented apartments for people. I have personally paid gowns for people. Mother of the brides, I have bought from their hair to their clothes to their shoes. I mean, we've done things. So certainly I've done it for people. Certainly when it gets to the turn of my children, trust me, everybody that I've helped that is in a position today would also want to say thank you for what I did for them some time ago. So when you see things you don't understand, my darling, ask questions.
Yeah. And with the question that just came, it's made me remember your statement. And I think that some couples, not just men, but women too, because my wife and I have couples, we were preparing for marriage, who took prayer for granted.
Yeah.
And the results were not too good.
Yeah.
We have one particular situation. I don't want to really talk about any specific one, but everything went wrong.
Yeah.
Everything went wrong. This couple, they were in tears, you know, and it all amounts to prayer. So there's a possibility that this gentleman may not know the significance, the role that prayer will play in the marriage for them. There's a possibility. And it depends on which church both of them go to. Obviously, she can seek some help, you know, from the church. There's also a possibility that this gentleman probably oversleeps, you know, gets so tired in the night, maybe stays up watching late movie, you know, after tiredness from work, and is just unable to wake up, which means maybe a different time, you know, to pray may help them, just to make sure that prayer is still part of their preparation for marriage, because we can assure them that without prayer, it's gonna be really tough, you know, for them. So that's the little counsel I have. I don't know what my wife has to add to it.
I think I was going to go on the backdrop of maybe you finished off saying that the dawn prayer is important to her. And I think what you should really look at is that prayer should be important. So perhaps you can't do dawn like he's saying, but maybe you can pray right into the night and then go to sleep. I know my husband is an early morning person. I am not. And so we have to compromise. And these are some of the things that as you're going into the marriage, you'd have to learn. That maybe he's not downplaying the importance of prayer, but it's just the timing that is not convenient for him. So perhaps choose another time that he can participate. Because what if he wakes up, but he's not fully into it, but another time that he can participate fully with that, and maybe you do the dawn prayer as an added bonus to added one to the prayer that you've done with your to-be husband.
So please don't downplay prayer. Prayer is so important. I always tell people, my husband and I have come this far because of prayer.
That's right.
When we met, we courted for a while because we were in school. So I'm sure we courted for maybe about 2 years. When he was a Legon, oh my God, I am sure in the realms of the spirit, we have registered our name in University of Ghana, Legon Hall, the Legon Hall Chapel. We used to have all nights there.
Wow.
When we started courting, we used to do it once a month. Every month, we will pray. And then 1 year into our relationship, we started praying every 2 weeks. We will have all night. I mean, every 2 weeks. And then getting to, I think, 6 months into our marriage, every Friday, Legon Hall Chapel. I mean, we invested prayer into the relationship. Prayer is so important. I always say that a lot of things go wrong with our prayer. And Reverend Child, somebody will look at my daughter's wedding and say, we invested money. I have seen wedding of rich guys that was such a mess. From the church, to the pastor, to the dress, to a rainy day. What people didn't even know is that we had the wedding in the raining season.
Yes.
Outside.
So you see, prayer does a lot and a lot and a lot of things. On Saturday, last week Saturday or last 2 weeks Saturday, Royal Ladies meeting, my daughter was there to say thank you to the aunties And she was telling them that on that Saturday, it was saying thank you to the Lord. It was a worship service for us. Worship service for what God did at Camp 2021. And number 2, for what God did in honoring us with that wedding. So according to her, every time she came to church, she came to the altar to ask God for something concerning the marriage and for asking God for something concerning the wedding. And the Lord did more than she even prayed for. So that Saturday, when she went to the altar, she said, God, on the same altar, a year ago I prayed. On the same altar, I have prayed every time. For a whole year, I've been praying that God do something, that God answer me, that God remember me. And on the same altar, I have come to say thank you. So she was saying to the mothers and the auntie that everything they did, everything that happened was prayer. Prayer, prayer, prayer. And she even said something I didn't know. What were bloggers?
Yeah, bloggers.
Bloggers. So she was saying that apparently children of big men in Ghana, rich men in Ghana, pay bloggers
to publicize their
weddings and their events. I never knew that. Me, who do I know?
And they are quite expensive.
I see.
There are some that are very expensive.
Oh, then Jesus paid for me. Reverend Charles, me, I don't know anybody. Say bloggers, so said I don't know anybody. But God just did it.
Yeah.
I even had one advertising me and advertising the prayer of my daughter. Isn't this one advert? Oh, wow. The angel of the Lord went ahead of us. It's prayer. But you see, sometimes it's not that your fiancé is downplaying their prayer. Just like Reverend Charles and Mama Rabba said, it's the timing.
Yeah.
If the dawn, he works, he closes late, he sleeps, I sleep so late. Yesterday, we slept after 3 a.m. Wow. So after 3 a.m., if you call me at 5 a.m. to pray, you pray alone. I'll be snoring over you. I wake up very early. I don't expect my husband to wake up for prayer because of the time I wake up. We sleep very late. And because we sleep late, he comes out of bed around 10. So around 10 when he's up, then 11, we pray together. I have no problem with the families who do morning devotion. I have no problem whatsoever. I love it when they do morning devotion. But here are you. Children come home from school, 5, 6 o'clock. They do their homework up to 9, 10, 12 o'clock. They are now sleeping. And 4 a.m., you are waking your children up who will be going to school and sitting down in the classroom the whole day because of morning devotion. Oh, yeah. And sometimes our children tend to hate our God. Yes. They don't want to have anything to do with our God and our altars and our church because of what we push them into. So if the dawn prayers is not working, and an afternoon prayer will work, a weekend prayer will work, an evening prayer would work, please adjust to your time. So my husband and I have had to adjust so much to our prayer schedules and our prayer times. We realized that the morning devotions were not working for us as a family. So we started doing the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. We don't joke with them. We don't joke with holidays. We don't joke with Christmas, with New Year's and all that. It works for us, and it's worked for us over the years. So please, maybe change the dawn, start a morning, start an afternoon, start an evening, and even start a weekend. And you'll be surprised how much your fiancé or your husband would even start praying more than you even want him to pray.
We have a similar situation in our house. I'm an early
That's right.
person, and I wake up. I have people sometimes I pray with.
That's
we call
right.
each other virtually.
That's right.
And then we pray, and I'm making all this noise, downstairs. When my wife had to travel to be in Ghana, I'll pray in the room.
Okay.
But when she returned, I'll come downstairs to pray because I didn't want to
That's right.
disturb her, with the prayer. And then what happened too is that we realized I wanted the family to wake up.
That's right.
I felt that the dawn was very holy and
Serene.
sacred, and I had scriptures, David, early in the morning will I cry unto thee, and so I thought, but I kept pushing it, but I realized that
it wasn't working.
My wife is not a morning person. I've tried. I've used motivational speeches. I've used the
prophecies
help of people like all the motivational speeches, Brian Tracy,
Les Brown, everybody.
Les Brown, thank you. That's the name I was looking for. Tony Robbins. I've used Psalms.
Rise
I even used
and
Job.
grind.
When one day God said to Job, "Has thou commanded the morning?" I said, "Baby, you have to command the morning." And one of the reasons why we are suffering in our life is because we are not commanding the morning. So we have to command. I said, all the witches have finished. You have to meet them just when they are packing and unpack everything they pack. I said, baby, there's a reason why it's called rush hour. Because everybody going somewhere in life is rushing somewhere. So anybody sleeping at that time is left behind. Oh, I tried everything, mommy. But this Uber, you can preach the whole gospel.
Aspire to acquire.
She doesn't joke with her sleep. So I realized that I needed to adapt. So it's possible that this lady may need to adapt a little bit. When I changed, some of our Brian wakes up early, Joel doesn't, Sam doesn't, Jaden is not too bad. So I realized the morning devotion that I wanted to was not working, And in the pandemic, we just shifted to afternoon devotions. And I think it was like a whole church service.
Look at that.
Come and see these children
praying and enjoying it.
And it was fun. And one day I told my wife, I said, honey, you know what? I pray with these, my prophetesses and prayer warriors. But this morning devotion that
with
we
the children, with the family,
I enjoyed it like way more than this whole prophesy and everything. I felt a more, connection, a closer
deeper fellowship,
with it. And so it is what you're saying is true. Just adapt, don't be too rigid and bending, But of course, we're also saying that maybe if he also doesn't see the importance of this, I think we've addressed that too. And then she can get some help with that as well.
All right. Very, very sound teaching. Thank you so much. We'll go to our next question. It says, what an awesome program. Learning good new stuff. You are teaching us a lot that I believe is not only for married people, but also for people like us who are at the verge of getting married. I have a partner. We have been dating for some years now. Both sides of the parents are aware. We love each other so much and we trust each other. I trust her more than I have ever trusted anyone. The issue is, she seems uncomfortable with people knowing about our relationship. She wants it to be silent. She gets worried when people know about us or I introduce her to others. Is this something I should be worried about? I am really not happy about this particular development in my relationship. Please help me, Mama Rita.
Mama Rabba.
I have a situation where a lady was courting a gentleman. Everybody knew about the relationship, and then everybody would say, when are you guys getting married? When are you guys getting married? Fast forward, they started doing preparations for their marriage and everything. Mommy, then marriage never happened. The man's family fought the relationship. A few months down the line, she meets another gentleman, and she says, what I want to do is pray. And I said, well, let's keep this until you are sure.
Yeah.
And we have the date, everything. Well, with the other one, we have the date and everything. So sometimes it's not so much a concern as to whether she's doing something bad. Perhaps an experience has taught them that they should keep it. I think it's the same thing when people are pregnant. They like to leave, they like to hide it so that they don't have too much eyes on them and put pressure on them and everything. So again, I think a lot of these questions that come boils down to communicating. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the motive behind it? And I think sometimes it's not always a bad motive, but an experience that somebody wants to hide and enjoy this, not so much pressure. I think Marvin at the wedding said, those people asking, when is your turn, or everything, those people asking though, because you want to give, you don't want to put pressure on yourself, and you want to allow God to move. And when it comes out, you know that you've dealt with all these issues that will come up in prayer. So I am coming from this section. It could be that she wants to leave the relationship in the prayer at the prayer platform until things are ready to be exposed.
Reverend Charles, do you have anything?
I think yes, well, very rightly so. I also think that there are a lot of people who have fear. You know, they are afraid in case it doesn't work out. What do I do? You know, people now know this, you know, everybody knows about it now, and it didn't work out, and now I feel ashamed and stuff. Some people also have certain personality types. I've realized. I was one day in a restaurant with some pastor friends, and I'm always talking about my wife. I'm always talking about my wife and how she is, how she dresses, etc. Then I realized that they were very silent about their wives. They were not talking. So one day I just said, after the conversation, and I just said, also, can I ask you something? Why is it that you are never talking about your wife? You're always quiet and silent. And then the guy looked at me quietly and goes like, Osofu, I think your personality is different from mine. You know, you seem to be very comfortable, you know, talking, but I'm not very comfortable. And then I said, well, perhaps. But, you know, I realized that I have to sort of bring myself to the place of always praising my wife as a deterrent to people around, perceptions of people, you know, and so on and so forth. And I didn't see that when I was growing up. And some of the things I didn't see, and some of the things that the marriage between my parents, how it, you know, turned out, I told myself that I'm going to do the exact opposite. So, in spite of personality, I had to overcome my personality and do certain things to help me to be able to appreciate my wife more, because I never saw that when I was growing up, you know. So it's possible that this lady or this gentleman, they might be having a bit of a personality clash in there, and it's also possible that they need to understand why the personality types are causing this, and probably help themselves by either adapting, you know, either understanding or adapting, whichever way it goes. There has to be a compromise at some point. So I think what Mama Iraba is saying is true. Obviously, some people prefer, and I've had relationships in our church that were hidden from me. There was one particular of 5 years.
Wow.
They hid it from me clean. But my wife, she's very forensic with a spiritual antenna, so she was able to tell that they were going out. And anytime she told me, I was like, oh, I don't think they are going out. You know, you're always, you know, thinking, you know. But they did it and they hid it. And their reason, finally, when they came out, their reason was they wanted to be sure. And there were too many witches and wizards around, and they just needed to keep it between themselves until they were ready to bring it out. So some people have their own reasons sometimes for these things, yeah.
And what I've actually noticed, some people are very, very private people. Very, very private. They don't like to talk about their issues. They don't like people knowing what is happening until the very last minute.
Yeah.
And others are also, for instance, in my home, one person, something will all hear. Daddy will come, say it, I'll come, say it, and I'll go to come. You know, we talk about everything. Yet you will meet somebody who is not like that. So you need to find out who your fiancé is. Is she the private person? Maybe she grew up like that. The home in which she came from, her mom was a very private person, or the dad was a very private person, and that's the way they were brought up. So that is one person being private and the other person not being private. It's not like she's not proud of you. She's very proud of you. She loves you, but she's private. The other reason Mama Rabba gave, that I have seen it so many times here. Recently I met a lady and she told me she was getting married maybe 3 weeks before, and I have such a good relationship with her. So I got a bit hurt. I said, the kind of relationship I've had with you, I can't believe you are telling me about your marriage 3 weeks before time. She said, Mama Rita, how many men haven't I brought to you? She said, Mama Rita, I brought 4 men. They all didn't work out. As for this one, Mama Rita, I really wanted to pray and make sure that it's working before I make the public know. So sometimes people have reasons. She's brought 4 people. She didn't want to bring the 5th person again. If the 5th person doesn't work, I'll say, bye.
Samaritan woman.
And which Samaritan woman is this?
Beyond grace.
So she wanted to be sure that as for this one is working. There's another lady I also met. She said, Mama Rita, anybody I introduce to my family, nothing happens. The man will
Her
just
family.
Her family. She introduces.
Once she introduces, whether to the dad, to the mom, grandmother, auntie, who. For some reason, nothing happens. The man gets up one day and stops calling or stops visiting, and it's happened so many times. So this last one, she came to tell me and said, Mama Rita, please don't tell anybody about it. Don't tell my mom about it. I said, what if she gets to know too late? She said, I'll be able to handle. So she also waited I think when she told her family, it took just 1 month. wow.
Yeah. So people have reasons for what they do. Just sit down, talk. What are her reasons? Is it because she's introduced too many men to her people that it never came on? Is there a particular person that when she tells, then the thing will spoil? Or the other one, she made mistakes because she didn't put in too much prayer. And as for this one, she wants to put in enough prayer so she doesn't have problems.
Yeah. So Mommy, how do we juxtapose this with what is actually a red flag of a partner who, for whatever reason, ulterior motive, is hiding a particular relationship from the public view? I think in one of the red flags, the early episodes that we had on this show, you spoke about this as one of the red flags. So how do we marry these two incidents happening? In one of your last examples you just gave, I think the person had come to a seasoned counselor who was guiding her or them in what to do. So how do people manage this situation, assuming this one is hiding because of a different motive?
So this is why you need to talk between the two of you. At least somebody needs to know. And for me, the first person which I mentioned when we were talking about red flags the first person that needs to know is your pastor.
Yes.
So once the lady can take you to her pastor and say, this guy has come to propose to me, or even if it's not the proposal stage, we spoke about the different stages in relationship, just going out and courtship time and all that. So even just going out, if the lady can take you to the pastor and say, pastor, this is the man I have seen. If everything goes on well, we will marry. Or the man is able to take you to his pastor and say, pastor, this is the man, the woman I have seen. And even if everything goes on, we'll be married. For me, that should be enough.
Great.
And if the woman tells you or the man tells you, the reason why I don't want to tell people is because I've gone into too many relationships that didn't work. But you see, like we spoke about, there are stages. The first stage is to tell your pastor. Let your pastor know it. The second thing is that if the church has counselors, I believe that the pastor would assign you to counselors. That's the second stage. And then the third stage is the family stage. When it gets to the family stage, you need to know spiritually the kind of family you are entering into. If it's a kind of family that anytime you introduce a boyfriend, something happens, you need to hold on and you need to let the gentleman know that, or the lady know that this is why. It's not because I'm hiding you. It's not because there's something I want to hide. It's not because there's a cobweb in my cockroach, in my cupboard. You know, you need to. That's why in relationship we spoke about communication. You need to talk a lot. Let her explain. Let him explain. Once the explanation is there and you get to know it, and the other thing too is, once you are adding a lot of prayer to it, I don't believe that if you introduce your fiancé to your family members, something might go wrong. And if you see the pastor and the pastor is helping you with prayers and all that, and the two of you are praying and are not kissing and are not having sex, but praying, you are investing a lot of prayer. Trust me, things will go on well.
All right, we'll take this comment. Hello, good evening. I am Jemima, watching you live from Sunyane. Says, God bless you, Mama Rita. You have been a blessing to me since I started watching Family Life series, because I was so much afraid of getting married. But now that fear is no more.
Oh, praise God.
Thanks to you and your seasoned counselors.
Amen.
And then she concludes by saying, Mommy, please pray for me. I am currently confused about who to accept, with multiple partners, or I think suitors, who are coming at the moment. So Mommy will say a word of prayer for you, and then we'll take a short commercial break.
I'll say a prayer for you, but you also need, Sunyane is a bit far from Accra. If your pastor is is well endowed with these things, or you have counselors, go and discuss these things with the counselor. Let your counselor meet all the guys, so you don't make a mistake along the line. But I'm releasing a mother's blessing over your life, and I am praying that God will direct you. Amen. God will speak to you. Amen. God will cause you never to make a mistake. Amen. The Lord will order your steps, that you would know which of the many guys is the one you must marry. Yes. May the Lord speak. Yes, Lord. May the Lord direct, in the name of Jesus. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you would also share a testimony about how God directed you, and about how God directed your step. And when you made the right choice, what came out of the relationship. May you be blessed. May you be favored. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
On this note, we will go for a short commercial break, and we'll be back.
The World Movers Generation of Royal House Chapel presents Movers and Shakers Conference 2021. It is the annual gathering of youth from across the nation for a time of spiritual impartation. The theme for this year is Give Me the Key. Speakers Apostle General Sam Kranchi Ankra, Reverend Mrs. Rita Kranchi Ankra, and Bishop Charles Ajinosari. It is happening at the Oil Dome near Obechebi Lamte Interchange. The dates are Saturday 28th August from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday 29th August, 2 services, morning service at 10 a.m. and evening communion and impartation service at 5:30 p.m. This conference will be live on Facebook at Sam Kranchi Ankra, on YouTube at Powerline TV, and on your favorite Christian television channel, Powerline TV. It is the Movers and Shakers Conference at the Oil Dome. You don't want to miss this unique encounter with God. Give me the key. Give me the key.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. With me in the studio today is Apostle-elect and Reverend Mrs. Charles Atakwabena Bene, pastors in charge of Royal House Chapel IMC in Croydon, UK. Last week they were on with us. Oh my God, it was something else. And even without me having to say it, people were calling me, let them come back. We have so many questions. So today we had to bring them back for Ask Mama Rita. Please, we will go to my co-host.
Yes.
I hear the questions are coming in.
A lot. Keep your questions coming all the same. Like Mama Rita would always say, even if we are not able to address them in this episode, subsequent episodes will be opportunities to address them. +233 200 515253. This message says, good evening, Mom.
Good evening.
This gentleman was my senior and a friend in the senior high.
Nice.
He proposed to me when he was outside the country.
Senior high.
Senior high.
When your parents asked you to go and study. Please go ahead.
He proposed to me when he was outside the country, and I accepted.
Okay.
He made his family come to do knocking whilst he was away, just to secure the relationship. He is now back, and Mommy, I have now been close to him for some time now, and I just don't like anything about his character as a husband. He is very dictative, autocratic. My opinions do not count. He complains about almost everything I do. Mom, I simply foresee trouble in my marriage, which I don't want to face. I already want to quit. What should I do?
Mama Rabba.
I believe they are not married yet.
No, it's knocking.
It's knocking. Not even engagement.
No.
Well, I think the mistake a lot of people do is they see the red flags. I still want to get married. They've done the families have met. So let's go ahead and do it. I don't want to disgrace mommy. I don't want to disgrace daddy, but daddy is not going to be in the marriage with you. Mommy is not going to be in the marriage with you. And the signs that you've seen now, don't go away just because you wore a white dress and you went to church. If these signs are there, I believe that you don't need a prophet to tell you what to do. I believe that you know the answer to this. You make the decision that this can turn into something else, into an abusive relationship once you are in the marriage. Do you want to go through counseling to make sure, to seasoned counselors to go through it? or do you want to call it quits? I don't think it's too late, Mommy, to do that. I think one thing I realized that they said, even on the wedding day, when they say, is there any just cause for which reason, even you, the couple, can also say, I don't. So till the I do is over, you can, especially when you know that your life could be at stake. I would say that any dictator, all the big languages that you use, I think is a red flag for you to see yourself out of that relationship, or see a counselor and to move on with that.
Reverend Charles.
Well, I can only look at real life situations, and I'm just picturing one particular one that my wife and I have been gossiping about in our bedroom. All the flags, red flags were there at the courtship stage. In fact, from the beginning of the relationship, even the wedding day, you know, insults went on, and you know, all the signs. But I think that there are a lot of people who are more interested in being a Mrs. or a Mister, you know, so to speak, than having a proper marriage, you know. And so they ignore the signs and then they just jump into it with the hope of changing the person when they get into the relationship. And this particular one I'm talking about, and in fact a few others, I mean, it's full of regret now, and it becomes even more cumbersome when there's a baby involved. And I know a particular lady who feels very imprisoned in the marriage. She wants to come out, she can't come out. You know, the gentleman is just very dictatorship with everything. You know, so again, don't ignore the signs, the red flags. You know, do not ignore them. It's a very, very, we always say, if somebody can show you this character at courtship, because, Mommy, it's at courtship that people show their best behavior. And I use that to counsel couples that one of the reasons why a marriage is different from courtship is that at courtship you see people's best behavior. And during the marriage, they just free themselves of every encumbrance, you know. However, if with you, the courtship, you're actually seeing the true colors of the person, then I can only imagine what you're going to see when, you know, now you're alone and together. So this is something not to ignore. It's something to pay attention to. And as my beautiful girlfriend wife said here, it's very...
Get ready for this evening.
It's very important. God bless you, and thank you for last night.
Please confess.
I was lying in my some place, so very exhausted and tired. I just lying there minding my own business.
And there was revival.
And then she decided that you know, and the Lord is with us. In Jesus' name. Let everybody say amen.
Amen. Shall we share the grace?
But, Mommy, on the more serious note, people are suffering in marriage. People are going through a lot. And I remember we were, it was a teaching service, and we were talking about relationships. And one person, I think she's about 18 years in marriage or more, asked the question and said, at what point, you know, do you, because she was saying, coming from the background of, I wish I knew all this before I said yes, you know. And unfortunately, she's in the marriage. So her question was, so what do I do now? You know, now that I'm already in the marriage. And so, Mommy, I keep telling young people who are not yet married that they shouldn't wait to get into the marriage. You know,
you have the chance now.
You have the chance to correct things, to be sure of things. You know, better marry late and happy than early and depressed. You know, and so they should not ignore the red flags. And as my beautiful darling girlfriend said, wife said, if they have counselors, a good church, and I think this theme keeps coming as we keep talking. A good church, a good counseling setup for the church. We have people who come from other churches, but they want us to do their counseling. You know, so maybe if your church hasn't got the kind of setup that you want, and you've been watching us and you are so excited and you think that, you know, we can be of help to you, there's nothing that stops you from approaching us to, you know, get some help. And I believe the reason why Mama Rita has put Family Life series together is to help people. So please get some help. Don't wait to say I do before you realize you don't.
I like that punchline.
Don't wait to say
I do before you realize you don't.
You don't.
You got what you wanted, but you didn't want what you got.
So, my darling, number one, seek help. If you belong to a good church, talk to the counselors in the church, talk to your pastor in the church. If you don't belong to a church where there are good counselors, our doors are always open to you. We will help you with our counseling department. We will help you. If we think that the red flags are too many, would advise you to quit. But sometimes some of these things could be handled. Maybe he doesn't even know that this is what I'm doing. He doesn't know that I'm a dictator. He doesn't know I'm bossy. He doesn't know, you know, he doesn't know. So seek help, go through counseling. When you go to counseling, don't hide anything. What I have come to realize, our counseling is a lie. The man has already started beating her. She won't say it because she wants the wedding. The woman has already started slapping him. He won't say it. And as long as you don't say it, we won't be able to help you. So when you come, naked I come, naked I go. Say it as it is. We'll be able to help you and solve your issues. And then if we think that the thing is workable, we will try. And one pastor was here, the one from North Carolina.
Pastor Joe?
Pastor Joe. Pastor Joe said that every relationship is workable, depending on the two. Once they decide that they want the thing to work, it will work. But sometimes one party wants it to work, the other party is not putting in, and there are red flags. If both of you want it to work, trust me, it can work. But sometimes when we look at the thing and we think that, listen, you are wasting our time. With me, I'll tell you are wasting my time. You know.
Well, this is what you get with Family Life Series season teaching and counseling every moment. Don't wait to say I do before you realize you don't. Well, like Mommy, we have a question here. It says, Mommy, please, I need help. I am married to a man who has 3 kids with his late wife, and I also have 2 kids with my late husband.
Wow, so 2 lates.
2 lates, yeah. Hey. So that's 5 children. Before I accepted to move in with him and get married, we had spoken about our kids and we had agreed on how to handle them. I took his kids as mine, but sadly, he doesn't want to see eye to eye with my kids. He does nothing with them even when they are sick. Secondly, he's now accusing me of committing adultery despite my strong dedication and commitment to him. Please, what do I do? Because I am really tired. I have 2 kids already with him. This is coming from Nigeria, Ingo.
Reverend Charles, this is so sad.
Yes. I'm looking at a situation in which if there is no, is it a case of him being mean to them as into the point of violence, you know, to which the kid's safety is a concern, or is just acceptance, trying to accept them as his own? Because
I think it's just acceptance.
Yeah, so from the marriage, from the question, acceptance and responsibility towards them seems missing. Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking is because it's easier to determine what's going on if the marriage between the two of them is okay. The love is fine, everything. There's a possibility that the man did promise, but he's actually struggling to accept them as his own through a sudden realization that it wasn't going to be as easy as he thought it was going to be. Because, you know, looking at dealing with half sisters, I've had to deal with one, and step brothers and stuff. Sometimes you don't know what you would do and how you would react till the situation presents itself. So it's easy to make promises. Oh, I'll look after your children, take your children and everything. And then now you're in a real life situation, and all of a sudden you're a little confused. You yourself, you're surprised that you're finding it difficult accepting. It could be a situation of that.
And with 7 kids now in
7
total.
kids now.
And they're a total of 7. You know, maybe he's overwhelmed, you know, with, you know, all these.
No, but before you went into the marriage, you knew the woman had 2, and you have accepted your own children. I keep saying it, that you will never know who will take care of you. And this is going to be my next topic, handling children.
Right.
The different kind of children we have. If God doesn't bless you with your own biological children, what do you do? Are you left alone? Do you adopt? What do you do? So this is actually going to be my next topic.
Right.
And then handling children that are not your own children.
Right.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You are marrying a woman. You know the woman had 2 children.
Yes.
You also have 3 children. She's accepted your children as hers. Why can't you accept her children as yours? I mean, I see it as selfishness.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Recently, I'm coming.
Sorry.
Recently, just during my daughter's wedding, one pastor came to say hello. And I haven't seen him in years. I mean, years. Guess what? The dad had him out of wedlock.
Okay.
Brought him to the stepmother with the stepmother's children. The stepmother refused to take care of him. The stepmother didn't want to have anything to do with that boy. Drove him out of the house. The boy went to live elsewhere. The stepmom had 4 daughters and then 1 son. If this boy had been included, it would have been 2 sons. And maybe the Bible says that iron sharpeneth iron. This boy would have helped your own son. Today, this gentleman has finished the 1st degree, finished 2nd degree, is working, doing very well. He's married, he's settled down, he's a pastor. Ask me what happened to the woman's son. He's on drugs currently. He sold everything of theirs. I believe that if he had taken care of somebody's own child, like her child, or one of her children, God would have blessed.
Yeah.
That's true.
I believe that the kind of wedding my daughter had, happened because I helped others. You know my adopted daughter, Sabia.
Yes.
When Asabia came to me, Asabia was so naughty. Hey! Because the father spoiled her. If Asabia was naughty and the mother was trying to correct, sister's father would say, Nefa Efa Jamebana mame. Unfortunately, we lost both mother and father. Everywhere she went to, she had issues with them until she came to live with me. It wasn't easy in the beginning, but I took her as my own. Took care of her. I mean, it wasn't easy. At that time, what to eat was even a problem. Paying the school fees of our children was a problem. I mean, we didn't have, but we tried. I remember sister's wedding. I was in New York. Reverend Eze will bear me witness. Shopping for sister like it was mine. Shop for her, from her crown to her veil, to her dress, to her jewelry, to shoes, to... She doesn't know how I organized. Everything from clothes to food to... I did everything. The only thing I made her pay for, I think, was her engagement dress, because I wanted her to feel a part of it. That was all. Everything that was organized was me. Why wouldn't God do it for me when it gets to my own children? If I hadn't done it for her, I believe that God will not even give my children, let alone they getting married. So, you see, I would leave Reverend Charles and Mama Rabba to say what they want to say. But you can't marry somebody who has children. She didn't hide it from you. You accepted her. You accepted her children. When you were going to get married to her, you knew she had children. Once you know the person has children, my darling, treat the children as your own. You will see those two children tomorrow and be ashamed. We had Reverend Novella here. Reverend Novella said they also had step. And the stepmother didn't want to have anything to do with them. Years down the line, the stepchildren, the step siblings are all rotten.
Wow.
And they have turned out well.
Wow.
They are now taking care of their stepmom. My darling, nobody knows tomorrow. And there's a proverb in Chi. Obie ni mo hene ashasi or something. You or brimpon ashasi. Nobody knows the beginning of a king. So if God brings you, I'm going to talk about it from next week. If God brings you a stepson, a stepdaughter, an auntie's son, an auntie's daughter, your sisters, you pick somebody from the village, my darling. Me, I have said it before. I saw people walk into the gates of Royal House Chapel, wretched, like Chief Ape sitting here. We picked Chief Ape, paid his school fees. Today, look at it. I am enjoying.
Come on now.
If I hadn't taken care of Chief Ape, we haven't paid his fees. I hadn't given him groceries to school. I would see him today and I would be ashamed.
You're not part of his glory.
I'm not part of his glory. I won't be part of his testimony. I look at Dr. Arnold today. Why would I go to the hospital when I have Dr. Arnold? All I have to do is to call Dr. Arnold and say, Dr. Arnold, I have headache. He will come running because I've been part of what he is today. We paid his school fees. I bought him groceries. My darling, please. You can't love somebody and not love the person's dog. If you love him with everything. With the depths and everything.
Yes.
I married my husband, fell in love with my mother-in-law, fell in love with my brother-in-law, fell in love with my sisters-in-laws, fell in love with everybody. It comes with a package. And he too, he fell in love with my mother, my father, my siblings, everybody, including the cockroaches in Choco.
Choco copy affair.
You can't love somebody and not love the SS baggage. It's a sin.
Yeah.
Apart from it being a sin. Tomorrow, and what I'm going to do on this show, I mean, as we progress, I'm going to bring stepsons and stepdaughters who have been treated well to come and talk about their stepfathers, to come and talk about their stepmothers. I see Dr. Arnold's wife. Now she's Mrs. Oyeleye Abraham. Oyeleye is not her biological father's name. Oyeleye is her stepdad's name. And I believe that she took over that name because the man treated them so well.
Yeah, yeah.
Where is the former president of America, Clinton? What Clinton is he?
Clinton or Bush?
No, Clinton.
What has he done?
Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill.
Clinton is not his own name. Clinton is not the father's name. Clinton is the stepfather's name. The father, his own father, rejected him. When he became president of America, who shared in the glory? It's the stepfather who was a Clinton. My darling, I'm investing in human beings. My husband and I are investing in people. Tomorrow when we are old, trust me, generations will remember us for the school fees we paid for people, for the sandals we gave people, for the clothes we gave people. If you eat it alone, I won't finish it. Let me leave you too.
Mommy, there's a principle my father taught us when we were children. My mother never wanted a house help as a woman.
Yeah.
We always had a male person, but then we had, growing up, we had one particular person.
Okay.
And for every occasion, they would sew political suits.
Yay! It's a long time I saw some.
They would sew that. And my father would buy the same fabric, take the gentleman and my two brothers to the same tailor, and they would sew whatever we ate, he ate. I think the only difference is he didn't stay in the main house with us, but he was literally like a brother till date. Till date. And there's something Daddy always used to say,
which is true.
As in, you never know who will look after who one day.
Yeah.
And I realized at my father's funeral, even those who sell on the street,
look at that,
were coming to the house and were paying homage, were still helping my mother out because I'm not here, they are helping out. So it's not just the children you bear, but you realize that I said to Pastor Charles that I've come to realize that human beings are the greatest resource you'll ever have
Mama Rabba,
on earth.
Mama Rabba, the greatest gift God gave to mankind is fellow human beings.
Yeah.
Without human beings in my life, I don't know what my life would have been like.
Yeah.
My darling, if you have people around you, thank God, there's going to be a time when you are going to be sick in bed that you won't get somebody to give you a cup of water.
Yeah.
When you see people, respect them.
That's right.
Say hello to them.
That's right.
Say good morning to people.
That's right.
Say good night to people. When you eat and you have leftovers, give it to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but with this question again, Pastor Chiva,
Yes.
it's the lady who's asking the question.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we need to address her
Yes.
too
Yes.
as to
So
what she can
I was
do.
going to say that, Mommy, because of the kind of person you are and the level of exposure you've had, you know, it possibly helped in your handling a similar situation like that. But I'm looking at, I don't know what kind of exposure he's had, what kind of level of, you know, experiences that he's had. He may be dealing with it for the very first time. And I was going to mention three things: dialogue, counseling, and prayer. And what you did right now is the counseling aspect, which I think if our dear lady can find a way of letting the husband watch this particular episode and listening to what you just said, I think it will really help, because it's even put things in perspective for me in certain past issues that I shared before we started the broadcast, dealing with a similar issue. You know, it wasn't me, but I was caught up in a home in which it happened. You know, so the counseling is very important. The man may need help. He may need some level of counseling, you know, to get him to have that kind of, you know, appreciation for the weight of what is at hand. Any of those children he's not handling well could be his savior tomorrow. Could be his Messiah tomorrow. Any of them. Who knows? One can become the next president of Nigeria. You know, and you'll be so ashamed that you didn't, you know, do that. And of course, with the lady, based on, that's why I asked, how's the relationship between him and the woman? Because based on the relationship, maybe a dialogue, you know, sitting down and talking about this. Look, we talked about this, you promised me, but what is going on? You know, get into the matter. Some men are receptive to that, some may not be. And if they are not, then it means it's time for prayer. Because obviously, with your widowhood, you know, you're not going to be entertaining a third marriage, you know, leaving and going. So this may be it for you. So you may need a supernatural intervention.
What the woman could also do, my darling, continue to handle your step as your own. His 3 children, and then the 2 you have with him, treat them well. If he still is not treating your 2 from your other marriage well, what you do is, if you have a very good family member or very good family friends who will be able to take care of them, move them out of your matrimonial home to a relative or a family friend or something that can take care of them and give them the upbringing and the love they so desire. And the only thing is that you have to supervise them, be there for them, their school fees, their clothes, their food, everything, until such a way that, you know, they can grow a bit and then take very good care of themselves. I've had to give some women that kind of counsel. And when you see the children today, they've turned out so well. It's better to move your children out of, you know, a home that doesn't accept them into a better place than to keep them there. And every day there's antagony. Every day they are hearing the fights. Every day they see how some children are treated in the house and they are not treated. So I will go by what Reverend Charles said: dialogue, prayer, counseling. And counseling. So we are giving you the counseling, do the dialogue, and then add prayer. If you try all these 3 and it doesn't work out, move them out of the house, give them a lot of supervision, visit them, whatever they need, provide for them. I think that they'll be better off elsewhere. And then trust me, see how your children will turn out. They will turn out so well and beautifully.
Amazing. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with our next set of questions. Family Life Series, Building Stable and Happy Homes.
The World Movers Generation of Royal House Chapel presents Movers and Shakers Conference 2021. It is the annual gathering of youth from across the nation for a time of spiritual impartation. The theme for this year is Give Me the Key. Speakers: Apostle General Sam Kranchi Ankra, Reverend Mrs. Rita Kranchi Ankra, and Bishop Charles Ajinosari. It is happening at the Oil Dome near Obechebi Lamte Interchange. The dates are Saturday 28th August from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday 29th August, 2 services, morning service at 10 a.m. and evening communion and impartation service at 5:30 p.m. This conference will be live on Facebook at Sam Crunchy Ankara, on YouTube at Powerline TV, and on your favorite Christian television channel, Powerline TV. It is the Movers and Shakers Conference at the Oyu Dome. You don't want to miss this unique encounter with God. Give me the key. Give me the key.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Keep your questions coming through. +233 20051 5253. And we are having lots of questions coming across everywhere in West Africa and across the globe.
And Pastor Chief,
yes,
like I always say, if we don't answer your questions in this episode, we will certainly do it. And trust us, some of the questions we are having are old questions. Yeah. But we make sure that we answer all the questions. So let your questions keep coming, and trust me, we will do justice to it.
Great. And we would also appreciate some details in your questions so our counselors can address them sufficiently. You can trust us where there are sensitive details. We'll be very discreet about them. So don't be worried about that. This one says, Mommy, I have been married for 3 years now. My husband doesn't perform his manly duties and puts sex in brackets.
Yes.
We only have sex once in the blue moon. Sometimes
just three years ago.
Sometimes we can go 3 months without sex.
Wow.
The least or earliest we've had sex is an interval of 3 weeks.
Wow.
He also doesn't support me as a husband and hardly talks about the future with me. We do not make plans together. He rather spends more time with the friends rather than with me. There is a lot, Mommy, but now my question is, I don't feel safe in my marriage. I have prayed for God to transform him. It's taking so long and I don't see hope in sight. Please, what do I do? Help me.
3 years is taking too long. Mama Raba.
I think you summed it up there. I think you summed it up there with your 3 years.
But the crust of it is the sex aspect. It's a sexless marriage.
We
may put it.
So for sometimes I'm not too pushy on people who are not readily in a sexual especially from the background I'm coming from, where I saw, for me, because coming from having been abused before and coming into a marriage, obviously you know that in a marriage you have to perform your sexual duty, but then if it's a big headache for you, how do you do this? And another thing I'm realizing from last week and this week is the trend of communication in there. I think last week I also mentioned the fact that when I had a particular contraceptive that would give off a smell, so that wasn't making it to my marital bed as cozy as it should be. So that is one factor. That's the second factor, as I've mentioned, the marital bed, maybe the stress. I know a certain lady who came to me and said, my husband is not sexually attracted to me anymore. I went back to the husband and he said, it's not that I'm not sexually attracted to my wife, but I'm under a lot of stress.
I was going to say that.
I'm under a lot of stress. And I said, but why haven't you spoken to your wife about it? And he mentioned that all she wants is sex.
Okay.
So to go and say that, let's talk about stress, is almost like an excuse.
Okay.
So he keeps quiet, but then the issue has not been solved. It boils back down to communication, mommy. So how are you addressing it? She said, but when she said she's not safe in the marriage, I don't know if it's because of the 3 years that she feels that she's not safe. I can give an example. My husband would always meet mommy, and sometimes a month, but it's something that had happened a month or 2 ago. He needs advice on it. He would never say anything to me and meet Mama Rita. And I'm sitting in the car and the man will be asking, Mommy, what do you think about this? And I'm like, how come you never asked me?
For this long.
I'm not saying that I'm par with Mommy, but I feel like at least ask me, let me say something rubbish. But he would never. And Mommy said something very significant and she said, you have to be ready for the time when he comes to ask you. The wisdom that you give to him will be what is on point, and that it won't make a mistake. I say this on the backdrop that maybe there are things in your husband's life that are happening that he's not able to talk to you about it. Now you are going to ask, how do you do it? Create a forum where you talk about this. And I think before you can have the best sex is when you sat down and you're talking about this, your friends, you're talking, and it's not just we haven't spoken all day and then we're going to bed and then that's it, let's have sex. So there's a process to making your marital bed cozy. There's a process to, the little strokes, the little thing, and when I brushed you, didn't you feel it? The playful things that you do. Then maybe you brushed him, he doesn't feel it, and you mention it, it's not I didn't feel it, but there's this particular thing happening at work that is like I'm numb. I was having so many children, and at a point I was afraid to have sex because my head,
too fertile.
if I have sex, I'm
Serious
going to get pregnant
again.
So I didn't want to have sex. But thankfully, I had mommy and daddy to speak to them. And I said, this is a particular thing. I've tried contraceptives, it's not working. But there's the communication forum that you put out there, that you talk about these things. And I think from last week, women, we put pressure on men. We have been psychic from children that we want to. You give a little child a doll and they start cradling the child. How does a child know this? So as a woman, we've been psyched for this. But for a man, it's different. So we have to, I feel like in marriage, sometimes the women have to now become trainers for the men to jump onto the bandwagon and say, this is how we do it. You're neglecting me and everything. So I feel that 3 years is not time to give up here. I mean, people have got 10 years. I'm not saying you go 10 years, but there's for better, for worse, for richer, go the longevity. Take time, pray about everything. And I just want to chip this in, mommy. When I got married, when I knew that he wanted sex, I'd actually go to the bathroom and I'll pray and ask God to help me because I didn't know what I was doing. I found kissing disgusting.
Your prayers are effective. The Lord helped you.
So, I mean, don't downplay the power of prayer in these things. And then make yourself sexually attractive also. Maybe you're wearing one long thing every time. Get shapely things, wear them. There are so many things online you can buy and seduce your husband. I believe it's allowed. Make it difficult for him to resist you. And I think that's what I would recommend.
And there were two parts. She also mentions in the message the part that he doesn't talk about the future with her, and also spends more time with friends rather than her. I think.
So if you don't talk about you talk to them about the future.
Yeah.
You talk to. It's a partnership. If he's not doing it, you go and say, what do you think? I've seen this. I believe we can do X, Y, Z. And last week when we were talking about me being part of my children, their lives, they're talking about football.
Yeah.
You know, and Brian was talking about football, and I was sitting there in the living room with him, and Manchester United were playing Manchester City, and he was saying, "Mommy, what team do you? What is it?" I said, "Okay, I support Manchester City."
Because they will definitely win.
Because are you a City fan? Or?
Oh no, Chelsea.
Oh right, okay. So anyway, we started bantering about this, and now I'm watching it. Mommy, half of the time I'm watching the thing, I have no clue.
Just like me.
I'm giving fans. I'm doing City. Sometimes I'm even shouting goal, and it's not even my team. it's not even my team. What is it that the friends give him that you don't give him? Create that platform. You know, my husband is Bible. So I also have to learn the Bible so that when he's talking Bible, I can make it. So create it. Maybe you're always nagging. Create the cozy platform. Don't look at the negative, but build on the positive. Make yourself his best friend.
Awesome.
My husband eats your food and he says, this is nice. Before I leave your house, I'm going to ask, how did you do this?
That's right.
When I go home, I'm going to do it better than you, so that next time you won't come and repent for yours. So what is it that his friends are giving him that you are not giving him? And be the answer to that, you know. So,
Reverend Charles.
Hey. After all these answers, I've clapped for my wife 2 times because she has, spot on described certain things that I had to deal with.
Okay.
You know, and I always say that there are a lot of married couples who don't study their wives, who don't understand some of the things their wives or their, let me use spouse, have been through in their past, which is now telling on the marriage. And one of the things that I had to deal with was with her past sexual abuse, which happened as the first one was before she was 10 years old, and the second one as an early teenager. You know, and the first one was from a trusted family friend, you know, and then the second one a trusted friend, you know, through very, you know, regular circumstances, normal, and just taking advantage of. I didn't know that this would cause problems in the bedroom. You know, at the beginning I took it for granted, but I realized that right from the onset, she had trust issues. In fact, she still has trust issues, but
it's
she
better.
has improved way more. You know, and it was happening even in church. You know, my phone will ring and she says, she picks the phone, hello. If it's a lady, then she'll just go like this. Give the phone to her like, oh no, as the first lady, you say hello. Yes. Oh, God bless you. Good evening. Please wait for pastor. You know, she'll just go, you know. And if you're a man or a woman and you don't understand where the person is coming from, you know, by 3 years you'll be crying foul and divorce. You know, you need to understand. And the Bible says in all you're getting, get understanding. You know. So when I understood where she was coming from, I knew that this is going to be a battle. And I have to accept that this is not going to be an easy walk in the park kind of thing, you know. So we were talking. We started talking. I wanted to know what her fears were, what her problems were. I knew I had to be extra patient, you know. So in the beginning, it wasn't really happening the way I wanted it to. I had dreams of a very exciting wife, you know, and I mean, once a while, I remember once we drove to Crystal Palace. It was under a large electric pole. There was a light that we parked there, and then we decided to do performance.
Some
a very
worship,
powerful
some
performance.
The police should have been
worship. Some senior worship.
over there. And that's me. I like excitement. You know, I like it to be exciting.
Spontaneity.
It was possible for her to hang on the roof,
Hey.
you know, and split her legs open.
Hey.
I mean, I'd pay £3 million for that. It's my right. I'm the exciting time. And I realized that she wasn't, you know. And so one of the things I've had to do in my marriage is to fill that vacuum immediately.
Okay.
So our sex life, I can say at least 90% is on my shoulders.
Wow.
She doesn't do nothing.
Hey.
Nothing.
Hey.
And I used to complain. Then I realized that no, it's not that she doesn't want to, but you know, there's something there. So let me fill in. So I started doing research. She didn't like kissing. I taught her how to kiss.
Wow.
And me, I didn't know how to kiss either because I didn't really, you know, when I was in the world, I was more of a rapper, a dancer kind of, you know, but I wasn't, you know, well, we did some womanizing, but we didn't go that far.
That's right.
You know, so I had to learn how to do it. And I had to do research, you know, use today's social media is, you know, and search and teach her to help her to accept it and like it. And I remember the first time I actually enjoyed a kiss with my wife. I think it was after about 5 years
Okay.
of marrying
Wow.
and kissing. We were in the US,
Okay.
you know, and I remember, I don't know what happened that day. I think it was a very romantic day, very powerful. We went out and she was excited. We took pictures.
And bought
So
shoes.
when we go, she did shopping.
That's where
which
the
was
thing
an
did.
aphrodisiac for my wife.
Hey.
Anytime my wife does shopping, it means the gates
Hey.
are open. I have to keep praying, Lord, give me money, give me money. You know, and that day everything was just right. You know, and me too, when it's right, I won't spare you.
Hey.
You know, I must visit. You know, so that day, I don't know. That day, I enjoyed the kissing so much.
Okay.
All the other kissing, I wouldn't. You know, she was very nervous. Did I do it well? You know, and even though she was all over the place, you know, sometimes her lips over my nose and then my chin and then my beard is so wet and blubby and.
Hey.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure. You know, I'll still say, "Oh, baby," I mean, very
On point.
powerful. I mean,
On point.
you know,
On point.
very powerful. You know, and I have to be wiping things. You know, it's like she's all over the place. You know, but that was the first day, and now it's terrific. Very powerful because I had the patience to wait, to teach her, to do my own research. She was scared about so many things. You know, when the babies came in, I realized that she had some fear, you know, and everything. And then, you know, our last baby, contraception was in place, but it didn't work. Our last child, you know, the contraception didn't work. So now, contraception, no contraception, you know. And then this woman too doesn't like condoms. I'm like, you know, because I'm like, all right, let me double pack or triple pack, you know, so you are safe. She doesn't like the condoms, you know. We had a very, very interesting situation. She likes the rub, at the same time, she doesn't like the condoms.
She wants to be protected.
She wants to be protected, even though she doesn't like the protection. That, you know, science has provided protection, that she didn't like it, you know. But some way, somehow, we broke through.
Yeah.
We broke through, and, you know, right now, I'm telling you, see, last night I didn't even do anything. I was lying somewhere.
Hey.
You know, and I'm saying this as a testimony, mommy, because that's how far it's come.
Yeah.
Now she herself, when we had the dialogue, she told me, I have problem with initiation. Because I told her, I want an initiator.
Okay.
That's what excites me. I want somebody who will pursue me. I want to on the stairs, in the kitchen, in the dining room. We have something we say, baptizing the rooms.
Hey.
You know, and so everywhere we live and everywhere we go, we have to like name the rooms after we baptize each room.
Even with the children around.
Oh, mommy, the children.
You'll find a way for
the
them.
children make it exciting because you know they are there, and so the excitement, the adrenaline is very high. You know, you have to, you know, be quick so that they don't catch you. So the excitement of doing that with the children then makes it more exciting. You know, and for me, you know, I am that kind of person, and that's the kind of marriage I want.
Sharp.
But I didn't marry somebody like that. And so for all the husbands out there, for wives out there, it's possible to be a certain type, but not get the type that you want. But it's still possible to be happy. Because most of the things that I don't get naturally in my life, it's my wife that taught me. You know, we are sitting at table. Mommy, there are 3 forks, 3 spoons. And I don't know which fork is for which. I'm touching them, she'll hit me. I said, last one. No, meanwhile, everybody's at table and stuff. Now, I'm very confident. Just grab it. I know the fork knife. I know the soup spoon. You know, she taught me. And she too, when it comes to the bedroom life, I taught her. I do all the research. It's worse when she travels and I'm there. You know, I'll do research. What kind of things and tools will enhance. And by the time she comes, I'm like, there's a box near your bed. Don't touch it and don't open it. Yeah, a box of surprises.
Nice.
You know, it's right there. But probably this is what has healed us. You know, so for this lady, you know, it's possible to be happy. It's possible to have issues in your sex life and break through. You just need to talk, and then you need to complement each other. Where one is not also very active, the other one should fill in the gap, and I believe that will help.
Wow.
Awesome.
So, my darling, stop nagging. Maybe your husband is always with his friends, because anytime he's home, you are nagging, you are complaining. You don't make the house warm enough. You don't make the house interesting enough. 3 years, maybe there are no children. This is the best time of your life to have fun, even before the children comes. If he is not initiating, you initiate. Don't complain, don't talk too much, don't nag too much. And then make the home very interesting, make the bedroom a fun place. I believe that if you make it a fun place, why not? He would enjoy it. And then you need to communicate with him, talk to him. If you talk to him, I believe he will talk back at you. Maybe there are issues he's going through. He's going through issues at work. He's going through stress. Maybe there's something that has to do with his past. There's something currently happening. Maybe there are financial issues. Maybe he's even going through health issues. I mean, there are things that he's not able to talk about. I believe that if you take your time, don't get tired too quickly, don't throw in the towel too quickly, communicate and make the home interesting. I believe that your sex life, like Reverend Charles is talking about, their bedroom life today, tomorrow, you would also be the one sitting here and sharing a testimony about what is happening in your home and what is happening in your bedroom. Ooh. I don't want to end, but we have to end. It's time. Let your questions keep coming, and I'll come your way same time, same day next week. I want to talk about the different kinds of children. If you marry and God blesses you with your biological child, praise God. But if God doesn't, what do? Do you continue to wait? Is there anything else to do? We will start talking about it next week. God bless you. Have a good night. And please, I don't know whether we are entering into our 3rd wave of the COVID, but the COVID keeps rising again. Please take good care of yourself. Wear your masks, wash your hands, sanitize your hands. When you sit in a car with somebody, wear your masks, open your windows, have a lot of fresh air. Ghana and God needs you alive. God bless you. From my team, Family Life, Powerline TV, we say God bless you and we love you.
The World Movers Generation of Royal House Chapel presents Movers and Shakers Conference 2021. It is the annual gathering of youth from across the nation for a time of spiritual impartation. The theme for this year is Give Me the Key. Speakers Apostle General Sam Crunchy Ankra, Reverend Mrs. Rita Crunchy Ankra, and Bishop Charles Ajinosari. It is happening at the Oil Dome near Obechebi Lamte Interchange. The dates are Saturday 28th August from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday 29th August, 2 services, morning service at 10 a.m. and evening communion and impartation service at 5:30 p.m. This conference will be live on Facebook at Sam Crunchy Ankra, on YouTube at Powerline TV, and on your favorite Christian television channel, Powerline TV. It is the Movers and Shakers Conference at the Oil Dome. You don't want to miss this unique encounter with God. Give me the key.